The quantum entanglement chamber hummed with a frequency that made Anna's teeth ache. She stood before the crystalline array, watching data streams cascade across her neural interface like silver rain. As chief science officer aboard the Meridian station, she'd seen countless anomalies in the fabric of spacetime, but nothing quite like this. "Run it again," she commanded, her fingers dancing through holographic controls. The replay showed the same impossible sequence. A figure materializing in the royal chamber during the assassination attempt, moving with inhuman precision to deflect the plasma bolt meant for Queen Alara's heart, then dissolving into quantum foam before security could even react. David Chen. The name had appeared in their database for exactly 3.7 seconds before every record of his existence scrubbed itself from Imperial networks. But Anna had been quick enough to capture a fragment, a ghost in the machine. "Temporal signature doesn't match anything in our archives," her AI assistant Iris reported. "The energy pattern suggests fourth-dimensional manipulation, but the mathematics are wrong." "Wrong how?" "They're more elegant. Our current models require 17 variables to achieve stable time dilation. His approach uses 3. Anna felt the familiar electricity of Discovery course through her. Whoever this David was, he possessed technology centuries beyond the Empire's most classified projects. She'd spent 15 years studying quantum mechanics, earned 3 doctorates, and pioneered the entanglement drives that made FTL travel possible. She knew the boundaries of physics. This man had rewritten them. The attack on Queen Alara had occurred 48 hours ago during the Centennial Summit on Kepler 442b. Anna had been there, presenting her latest research on consciousness transfer, when the would-be assassin struck. She remembered the flash of blue light, a man's silhouette moving faster than thought itself, and the assassin's weapon clattering to the marble floor, its power cell cleanly excised. Security footage showed David's face for less than 2 seconds, dark eyes that seemed to hold impossible depth, a slight smile, almost apologetic, then nothing. No demand, no explanations, no trace. Iris analyzed the quantum residue at the manifestation point. "I want to know where he came from." The AI processed for several minutes, an eternity by computational standards. "Anna, you should see this." The holographic display reconfigured, showing a timeline that stretched both backward and forward from the present moment. At the point of David's appearance, the timeline split into 17,000 distinct probability branches. Schrödinger's paradox, Anna breathed. He created a superposition of possible futures. "Not created," Iris corrected. "Collapsed. Look at the convergence pattern." Anna's eyes widened. Every single probability branch, 17,000 different potential futures, led to the same outcome, Queen Alara surviving. In the branches where David didn't intervene, the Queen died in 98.3% of scenarios, and in each of those, the Empire collapsed into civil war within 6 months. He didn't just save her life, Anna realized. He preserved the timeline itself. But the question remained, why ask for nothing in return? Anna spent the next week following a trail of quantum breadcrumbs. She found microscopic inconsistencies in historical records, events that should have happened differently, catastrophes mysteriously averted, inventions appearing decades before their theoretical foundation. Each incident bore the same quantum signature. David had been protecting humanity for at least 2 centuries. On the 8th day, her console chimed with an incoming message. No sender ID, just coordinates and a timestamp. The abandoned research station on Titan's North Pole in 3 hours. Anna went alone, against protocol and common sense. The station had been derelict for 40 years, its corridors dark and silent except for the whisper of nitrogen wind against the hull. She found him in the central laboratory, standing before a device that made her entanglement chamber look like a child's toy. "Dr. Anna Volkov," he said without turning around. His voice was warm, tinged with an accent she couldn't place. "You're more persistent than I anticipated. You knew I'd find you." "I hoped you would." He turned, and she saw his face clearly for the first time. Young, perhaps 30, but his eyes belonged to someone far older. "You're the only one who could understand." "Understand what? Who you are, what you are." David smiled sadly. "Not what. When." He gestured to the device. "This is a causality anchor. It allows me to exist outside the normal flow of time, to see the probability waves before they collapse into reality." "You're from the future." "I'm from many futures. Most of them are dead now timeline branches that led to extinction events. Nuclear war, rogue AI, gray goo scenarios, gamma-ray bursts we could have deflected but didn't." He touched the machine with something like affection. "I've lived through humanity's extinction 47 times, Dr. Volkov. This is attempt 48. The weight of it crushed the air from Anna's lungs. "Why didn't you ask for anything? After saving the Queen, you could have demanded resources, recognition, anything." "Because the moment I take payment, I create a debt. Debts create obligations. Obligations create expectations. And expectations alter the timeline in unpredictable ways." He pulled up a holographic chart showing a dense web of causality. "If I'd asked for even a simple thank you, the Queen would have felt obligated to make a public statement. That statement would have reached the outer colonies 3 days later, where a young engineer named Marcus Tells would have been inspired to pursue quantum research instead of genetic engineering. Without his work in genetics, the phage plague of 2347 would have no cure. 70 billion dead." Anna's mind reeled. "You can see all of that, every consequence." "Not see, calculate. The mathematics are exhausting." He looked tired suddenly, infinitely weary. "I've spent 600 years of subjective time learning to ask for nothing, to leave no mark beyond the minimum necessary intervention." "Then why reveal yourself to me?" David met her eyes and she saw something that looked like hope. "Because you're about to make a choice, 3 weeks from now, that will determine whether humanity survives the next millennium. And I can't intervene this time. The quantum uncertainty is too high. Any action I take collapses the wave function in the wrong direction." He activated a display showing Anna's upcoming presentation to the Imperial Science Council. "You're going to propose linking human consciousness to the quantum field, a collective neural network that would allow instantaneous communication across galactic distances. The Council will approve it. The technology will work. And in 93 years, it will make humanity vulnerable to a form of psychic warfare we're not prepared to defend against. Extinction Event 48. So I just don't present it. If you don't present it, the Empire fragments due to communication lag. Colony wars. Extinction Event 49. He showed her the branching timelines, each ending in darkness. "But there's a third path. You modify the architecture to include quantum isolation protocols, an idea you won't conceive naturally for another 8 months. If you implement them from the start, the network becomes humanity's greatest strength instead of its fatal weakness." Anna studied the equations he displayed. They were beautiful, elegant, and completely beyond her current understanding. "This will take me years to develop properly." 3 months, David corrected. "You'll have a breakthrough during a meteor shower on the night of March 7th. Trust the intuition." "You're asking me to trust a future that hasn't happened yet." "I'm asking you to make it happen." He began to fade, his quantum signature destabilizing. "I have to go. My presence here is already creating ripples I'll need to smooth out in 30 other timelines." "Wait," Anna called out. "Will I see you again?" David's smile was both sad and hopeful. "In every timeline where humanity survives, Dr. Volkov, in every single one." He vanished, leaving only the faint smell of ozone and a set of equations hanging in the air like a promise. Anna stood alone in the dark station, the weight of trillions of future lives suddenly resting on her shoulders. She understood now why David asked for nothing. The burden of knowledge was payment enough, and perhaps the only currency that mattered when the stakes were existence itself. She returned to Meridian Station and began to work, trusting in mathematics she didn't yet understand and a future she couldn't yet see. And on March 7th, watching meteors burn across the black, the breakthrough came exactly as promised, a whisper from a timeline that might yet be born. Somewhere in the quantum foam, across 17,000 probability branches, a man named David smiled and moved on to his next impossible task, asking for nothing, expecting nothing, saving everything.